Well, hello everyone and welcome back. So you join me in this lovely hotel. I'm down at the Novotel down in Langley, and yeah, I'm not away on my trip yet, back to England. I'm actually down here just for the weekend, or I was. I think it's Monday now, because it definitely sounds a lot more busier out there than what it has been the last couple of days. So the reason why I came down here is I was feeling a little bit bored, a little bit restless. I wanted to get out and do something. But since I sold my car last week, and I'd sold it for quite a loss, and a few of you wrote down in the comment section and also sent me a message on Instagram saying if I sold it privately I would have got more money for it. Yes, I would have, but it wouldn't have been that much. I'm talking maybe $2,000-3,000, and for the hassle of selling it privately and the stresses and everything that's going on for me, that's the last thing I want to do. But yeah, so I'm in the city because, as I said, I was feeling bored, a little bit restless, and on Thursday night I was just feeling a little bit bored, and then I went on to Instagram of all places because that was a platform I was thinking that I would probably just avoid, and I found out about a photography show that was happening, so I thought, you know what, I've got nothing happening, why not go ahead and just go along to it? And then I was thinking, if I want to get there nice and early, then I'm going to have to get on the train early, catch the early bus, and it was just going to be a load of faffing around. It wasn't going to be enjoyable, and I probably would have felt like crap when I got there. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to spend one night in the city. So that was going to be for Saturday night. And I had a room, so this is my second room while I'm here. This was actually booked yesterday evening, I think, or yesterday afternoon. I didn't have to sleep too well the night before, and I was just so exhausted, I just couldn't be bothered walking to the train station, let alone catching the train, and then, everything. So I thought, and I was just emotionally and physically drained. And as you can probably hear in my voice, it's not the best it probably can be. I've been shouting a lot, because it's been so loud the past couple of days. Because I came along and I helped set up a little bit where I can. Everyone else knew what was going on. I didn't really know. I've got a little bit of expertise in that area, but when it comes to photography gear, so I just helped out where I could, and which was nice. Booked the hotel room. I had a smaller room than this. This one is actually a little bit bigger. The shower doesn't work too well. The heater definitely doesn't work in this room, so they supply you with another little fan heater down there. I personally would like a little oil-finned radiator. These things are rubbish. You turn off the heat and it just dissipates. But this morning I've got this lovely window in this second room, and it's just bringing in so much light and heat, and it's just wonderful, fantastic event. I was going to look at tripods. I did have a look at the Leica SL2S again. I was really tempted by that, and I've got the money in the account for it, but I've got to put that towards other things. If I was staying here, I would have bought it, and I would have probably bought the 100-400, the 24-70, and I think there's a 16-35 or something equivalent to that. Oh shit, I have a cup of tea. I need to make my tea. It's probably going cold now. Oh no, it's still very hot. Hang on. I'll just get my milk and make this quickly. Hang on. I'm doing this whole YouTube thing, aren't I? I'm making a cup of tea in my hotel room, recording it as I talk. So yeah, it's hang on. So it's been really good to just get out and stay in the hotel, and because this is going to be my life for about a month and a half, maybe 2 months, when all my stuff is packed up and I head back to England. I wanted to, a sense of what it would be like as well, and I'm getting used to it, making my cups of tea. I'm living on limited supplies. There's only so much you can have, and when it comes to England, a lot of the rooms don't have fridges, like we have here in Australia. A lot of the hotels have fridges. Only a certain few have fridges, so that really restricts me. So this one's actually got a little kitchen in it, which is kind of cool. Little stove. You've just got little tea and coffee making facilities, and then any breakfast you want, you go downstairs. But it would be still nice to have like a little fridge where I could just put some milk in and have a bowl of cornflakes, whatever. But yeah, I'm just going to put this back. I'm somewhat tempted to just go to a shop and buy myself a little travel fridge. I think that travelling around with a suitcase and my camera bag would be an absolute pain. But it's only for a short amount of time anyway, until I get a rental property One sugar, don't like it too sweet, just take the little edge off, otherwise it's too bitter. Yeah, it's been great chatting with people I haven't seen in ages. Some people I haven't met as well, so that was really nice. I went along to a couple of talks. One is by Ian, I don't know his full name, so I'll just spell it out down here. It's sore throat, it keeps tickling with all the shouting I've been doing, and it's just really, really sore, as you can probably tell by my sound. Ian done a thing on like printing and calibrating your screens and everything like that, really sort of in depth, and I think I left about halfway through because after a while I was starting to glaze over, and I was going, okay, I'm not really getting any benefit from this, but I got a little bit, and I learned that I've got a problem when it comes to my monitor. So when I go away on a shoot, or go out in the field, because my main computer that I use to edit off of and everything is my laptop, and then when I get home I plug my laptop into my screen, and then I find every time I plug my monitor into my screen there's a colour shift, and I see the colour shift happen because when I plug in my monitor in, you can see it looks good, and then it does a little shift. So he told me that I'm calibrating for my computer and not for the monitor, even though this program switches to my monitor. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but he said about using BenQ's thing, so I might look into that. But how I work around that little problem works for me, and I know I'm getting the accurate colours when I need to. And when I've done test prints, it looks identical on the screen to the print, just a little bit in brightness, but that's depending on the screen. So yeah. Then I went along to another little workshop run by Tony Hewitt, a fine art aerial photographer, and does he just do aerial? I think he does a bit of landscapes on the ground as well. I think he was also a wedding photographer. He said he shot just under 1,000 weddings, which is just insane. I've never shot one wedding, I wouldn't be able to stand it. Then he's done a bit of commercial photography as well. But it was just really nice to hear him talk about his photography, the way he works, the way that he's connected to what he does. And he was explaining fine art photography. A lot of people have asked me, what is fine art photography? What does it mean? And he started having some quotes up on the screen. And I don't know if anyone really knows what fine art photography is. I think it's all sort of maybe a personal feeling. I think when it comes to general photography, when you're out taking photos of a landscape, let's say, because I think probably a lot of you are into landscape photography who watch this channel, and I'm definitely into my landscapes, though I bring it to other fields. When you go and take a photo of a landscape, you've got a scene in front of you, and you'll photograph the conditions as it is. You maybe grab some filters out, sort of mist out the ocean or whatever, and you'll bring in your graduated filter to darken the sky to balance it out from, your foreground to your sky, and you've got that nice, it's not an eye-catching bright sky and dark foreground. You want to balance that scene. What he was saying with like fine art photography is it's an emotional thing as well. It's how you feel inside and how you feel you're going to best represent that scene. A lot of my work, I see the thing and then I try and throw my own expression on it, like a painter would do with different types of paintbrushes and different paints and different textures in the paints and stuff. But bringing that inner connection, how you feel and how you perceive the scene through artistic expression. I like to spend time on my composition. I like to spend time within the scene, and I really like to finesse it. And even with really simple scenes, I spend ages with. Really cool for him to talk about that, and then he was sharing about like the expenses of aerial photography, going up in a plane, and that's quite expensive in a helicopter as well. I just realised my tea's probably going cold. And I remember seeing their prices and I thought, shit, they're coming out quite expensive. And now after seeing what Tony does and what some other friends would probably be doing, one of my friends, Scott John McCook, who I want to do some workshops with in the future, doing some aerial photography, some stuff on the land as well when I come back to Australia. Yeah, he will be spending those sort of figures, and it's just, astronomical. But if you're selling prints and making money from what you're doing, it pays it off pretty quickly, and those images will follow you for years. My tea's still warm, even after 10 minutes. It was great chatting with people, who follow me here on YouTube, who follow me on Instagram, having that nice connection with people and knowing that they're still seeing my stuff and they're interested in what I'm doing. They're saying, oh, you know, about me moving back to England, when are you off and all that, because I'm only on Instagram and then I'm only on YouTube. You know, I'm not on Facebook. I very rarely do much on Instagram really these days. I'm more on YouTube. That's why I'm plonking out these videos where I can. I do apologise as well when it comes to that, because I much prefer bringing you out on location, take photos. I've got ideas for when I go to Eastbourne. I'm going to go wake up early. I can see, you know, the early morning, that nice blue and maybe a bit of cloud on the horizon or in the area, and the tide will be out. I know what the area is going to be like, and just me walking along the sand. I've got my Fujifilm X-T4, which is, so yeah, I'll have my Fujifilm X-T4 on a little tripod. I need to get a little tripod for this, so that'll be somewhere, and I'll be walking along the scene. I'll probably have a wide angle and I'll probably go to a telephoto lens. Yeah, so it's going to be a little bit of a hybrid setup, so yeah, that, and then when it comes to me taking photos, I'll switch from that camera to, you know, the Pocket 2, so sort of a hybrid sort of system, and see how it goes. But yeah, anyway, so this is my ADHD. I get a thought coming in my head. I need to talk about that thought, and if I don't talk about that thought, it's going to go, and then I'll go, what was I going to talk about? Or yeah, I've got to go with the flow. When I wake up in the morning, I don't need caffeine. I'm just ready. If I wake up with an alarm, I get out of bed, boom, I'm ready. I can do anything. So yeah, it was really nice talking with people that I haven't seen in a while, I haven't seen in years, and talking also with, you know, professional photographers. And I felt sort of on the same level, but when it comes to like these sort of things, and then they're talking about competitions and stuff, because I've never entered in a competition, I never really felt the need for it. I don't think I'd benefit from it. I was talking to a couple of guys last night. I think I was talking to Tony Hewitt and Mark, I can't remember his last name. He does a lot of architectural photography, and I was talking about his, you know, what he's doing now for work. He's still a commercial photographer. He's doing stuff like mining companies, and yeah, he's getting into a bit of time-lapse photography as well, something he's not had any experience with. You know, I'm having another sip of my tea. But yeah, it was just really nice to just talk with them. Oh yeah, the bloody... you see what I mean when it comes to ideas, and then I go off on a little thing. So yeah, when it comes to entering in competitions, I won't really get a benefit from it. I'll enter, if I do enter anything, you know, from here on out, I would submit it and then I'll go, I don't care about what happens, you know, I don't care about what they say, I don't care who judges it, because it's all down to personal opinion, to personal taste. And my work is personal to me, and I'm highly critical of myself. I don't know if you've noticed that, but if you go back through some of my early work, say if you go onto Instagram for instance, you go back through my earlier work, and within a 2-year time frame, my work is completely different, or it's really taken on a different feel and different vibe. And then you go into some of my work now, and I'm sort of mixing up a little bit. I'm playing with film, I'm playing with digital, and just having fun with it, which is highly important when it comes to photography. Anyway, I'm going on a bit on this video. This is why I struggle with these sort of videos, you know, when you don't really have any structure. You know, when it comes to landscape photography, you're making the video to showcase your photography and showcase, so the video takes priority, and it's a nice bit of storytelling. With this, it's just me talking in front of the camera. Oh, by the way, I've got a little important thing if you're still here. So yeah, when it comes to me, you know, booking my accommodation, now this isn't sponsored, I'm not affiliated with them. I might try and see if I can get affiliated, because it would be really good, since this is quite important for what I'm doing, and it'd be nice to have some sort of connection or some sort of affiliations with the stuff that I'm currently, you know, in the process of doing. When it comes to me, you know, booking my accommodation and booking anything, instead of me using my bank card and paying astronomical transaction fees, you know, international transaction fees, I'd done one once, and that was the only time I'd done it, when I booked my premiere in Eastbourne. So that was about $600. But what hit me was the transaction fee, the international transaction fee of almost $30. Now, this is a card I've signed up with them. This is what I'm using. It's Wise. And basically what you do is you sign up with them, You create an account. It's very simple, very easy to do. I've done it in just about 5 minutes. So if I can do it, and I'm not very good with this stuff, I'm always concerned that I'll make a mistake. This was super easy. They go by the best exchange rates, and then you put the money onto it. So I basically use my debit card. I put the money onto the account. When it costs you is when it comes to adding money. With my debit card, for $700 that I pay onto it, I get hit with a fee of about $2, which is nothing. That's like an ATM fee sort of thing. So really nice and cheap, and it's automatic, so you can have all the currencies around the world. So if you were about to go off and travel around Europe or travel around America or anything, you put what you want on this as you're going along on your trips. With the debit card, it's straight away, basically, maybe a couple minutes. And then there is Apple Pay, but that is about, I think, a 15% fee, so not great at all. So yeah, best to just use a debit card, and you can spend up to $50,000 on the card per month. So that's going to be great for you if you're like me, you're traveling around and staying in hotels and paying for accommodation. And this works basically like a normal debit card. It does have my info on the back, but I'm not going to show you any of that. But yeah, just on the front you've got your little tap and thing. You can set up a pin and everything as well through the app. Actually, that's one of the things you've got to do, and it's just really nice and simple. And yeah, not had any problems with it whatsoever. So yeah, if you are interested in checking out this, I'll put a link down to it below. I might have an affiliation link by the time I share this. What's going to happen for the rest of the day? It was meant to be raining today, heavy rain, but for what I can see outside. So yeah, today it was meant to be cloudy. Actually, you can see some clouds down there. Lovely blue skies in the city. It is a little noisy, single glazed units as well, not double glazed, which is what I'm going to have in England. And yeah, a room that doesn't have a real working heater. And there's someone trying to get into my room. I can hear something. It's behind them. I know, it's the cleaner next door. I've got the little chain going across, just in case. Oh yeah, and I also booked on another few nights for when I get to Newcastle. Booked about 6 nights there, and then that's where I'm just going to hopefully get out and take some photos. That'd be really nice. Use it as a base. There's some nice shops nearby as well. It's more an industrial area, so it's going to be a little bit quieter as well. Have a hire car from there and just sort of go around places and see what I like. I do apologise for this being a long video, but yeah, it's just me just rambling and talking bollocks a little bit. It certainly feels like it anyway. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this, and I love doing this. And I think, if it wasn't for me going away on my travels and my trips, in my rooftop tent and I just stayed at home, I probably wouldn't be doing this, because in the early days that used to give me a lot of anxiety. But now I find it ridiculously easy. I go, and I can imagine in my head, which I think makes it so much easier. I think I'm not sure if that's an ADHD thing or a dyslexic thing, because it's definitely not an autistic thing. Yeah, because I think with dyslexia you can sort of start to imagine things, and I can imagine the weather, I can imagine all the conditions, or I can imagine like how I am here, and I can put myself there and I go, you know what, when I get up that day, how will I feel? And then I sort of work it around that. I'm thinking of making something a little bit special to showcase my best photography that I've captured here in Australia. A little bit of maybe a slideshow, I'm not too sure. Thought about it yesterday was in Tony's talk, so I think that'd be something nice to do, a nice little finishing touch before I move away from Australia. I am going to miss this place. The remote camping and stuff. Being able to be 100 kilometers away from a single person in the middle of nowhere, that's not something I'll have in England. And the landscape out here is amazing. There's so many amazing landscapes out there in the world, and even on your doorstep, so it's never an excuse saying that you don't have anything out there. I'm going to head off, and I will see all of you in the next one. Okay, bye for now.